Lisa? Who's Lisa?
Are you okay? Bethard, oh my god! Bethard! Bethard! What's wrong?
Get rid of it! Bethard!
Are you okay? Oh my god, you guys! Bethard! Okay.
Like a little bird.
Bethard! How do you get rid of it? Don't you have to say your name? Bethard! Are you okay? Come here, guys. Come on.
Bethard!
Oh my god.
Bethard. Do you need water? You want some water? Guys, can we get some water, please? Hey, Bethard, are you okay?
you ever involved in any Ouija board cases or experiences? If you could just maybe tell us a little about that.
That house, it was horrible. It was so scary and so horrible. And Ed and I spent nights in that home. We called a Catholic priest. The family was Catholic. We called a Catholic priest. And during the midst of it, we had a lecture at University of Maine. No sleep. We went up and gave the lecture. Didn't stay overnight and came back home again. And the priest stayed there during that period of time with us. And the furniture that would be in the room would go like this, like you were moving it. You know how you move a heavy piece of furniture like this, moving it right across the room. Ed went into the room this one night, and it went fast. It went very, very, very fast, and he was commanding in the name of Jesus Christ for what was there to leave. And when he did, these chairs, the two love seats that were on either side of the fireplace, came and pinned him right into the corner. Now, I was in the boys' bedroom. The family were in the master bedroom in back of me. Ed had been there. Ed had been there with the mother, the father, the daughter, the son, and the family dog. And that Ed commanded in the name of Jesus Christ for what was there to make itself known or to get out. That bed with Ed, two men, the mother, the daughter, the son, on it, rose right up to the ceiling. And I was, then they did it again, and he kept commanding in the name of Jesus Christ for it to leave and to go back to where it came from. So the boy came in and he lay down on the bed. When Ed started, I turned over so I could see the boy. He levitated right off his bed and went flying right out the door and cut his head here. And the priest and the father and the mother and everything was taking care of him. And here's my bed rocking back and forth. The sliding doors, the large sliding doors, dematerialized.
And you believe all of that was opened up or began?
Through the Ouija board. They were church-going people, and there was absolutely no way other than that Ouija board.
When we were at Hasbro, we found out that 13 million Ouija boards have been made since 1967.
Wow. Most of them are bought like at Christmas time for kids to have fun with. That isn't anything to have fun with. That definitely is nothing to have fun with. If we were trying to help people, get rid of something in a home, and we've gone there and it keeps changing.
Yeah.
Am I true? Yeah, we have a lot of books already.
Yeah, I think you have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably up.
Slightly, you know the routine.
Yeah.
We have an actual board here, a real one.
Tara Lawson and her brother talked their mother into buying a Ouija board.
We just got a Parker Brothers Ouija board at the toy store, and we didn't realize that, you know, it was more than just a toy.
What started out as an innocent fascination turned Tara's life into a nightmare filled with oppression. An evil presence made itself known almost immediately.
It was moved, and we were looking up at my dad, just kind of laughing like, look, and we're not doing it.
I said, we're not playing this anymore. I said, I'm getting rid of it.
Tara's dad hid the board. It wasn't long, though, before Tara found it and secretly began playing again.
To me, it was just kind of something that was like a game, something that was just fun for me.
Hey, Lisa? Who's Lisa?
What I was opening myself up to, that it was something demonic, something evil.
But the more she played, the more frightened she became.
Sleep, knowing it was under there.
She came back and said, you know, I found that Ouija board. I've been...
You okay? Edward! Stop! Stop!
Chill out, man. Come on. Chill out. Chill, man.
Let's get rid of it.
Tara and her father burned the Ouija board, but a few years later she was drawn back to it again. This time she made her own Ouija board with a friend.
That one was even more powerful than the one before, moved even stronger. It would say things. So being teenage girls, we just would kind of laugh and feel kind of uncomfortable, but we keep playing. And I could tell it was spelling something, but it was going so fast I couldn't tell what it was spelling. But I saw my name, and it was saying, I'm going to kill you, Tara. I'm going to kill you, Tara, over and over. We ended up saying, our Father which art in heaven. That's all we really knew to say. And it went to goodbye immediately.
She stopped playing with the Ouija board, but Tara's life was dominated by loneliness and fear.
Depression. I opened that door to evil into my life. It brought in...
So guys, Ouija board, found it at a toy store, and I'm thinking about using it. I don't know, I'm not sure. A mysterious, mystifying game. Ooh, and it glows in the dark. So, I don't know, what's your guys' opinion? I mean, you know, I'm not sure. I've heard a lot of, don't use it, no, stop, it's terrible, and then I've heard a lot of, yeah, use the Ouija board, use it. So I don't know, tell me, what do you guys think? Tell me.
That's pig.
Do any of you know anyone with a name like that?
On the punch that we took. Is anyone with us?
What's going on? What's going on?
I can't do that. Turn on the light. Turn on the light.
Oh my god, something.
Oh my gosh. This can't happen.
What if one of us gets...
Holy crap. What's wrong with you? Mary, what's happening? Get away. Get away. Get away.
Yeah, my lens is long, so I can get it.
All right. So they're putting the board in, the next one will put the instruction sheet, and the next will do the planchette, and then we'll move over.
yeah.
Those are the instructions.
Thank you.
The Ouija board, as we know it, started off as a toy created by Elijah Bond and Charles Kennard and is still sold as a game. So how do you explain the movement of the glass on the wall? It's not spirits, then what is it? The truth is that the movement of the Ouija
idiomotor action and expectation. It has nothing to do with the paranormal.
Thard! Thard! Are you okay? Thard! Oh my God! Thard! Get rid of it! Thard! Are you okay? Oh my God, you guys! Thard!
Like a little bird.
Thard! How do you read it? Thard! Thard! Are you okay? Come here, guys. Come on, come on. Thard! Oh my God!
Do you need water? Want some water? Guys, can we get some water, please? Oh my God, are you okay?
Oh my gosh. This can't happen. What, one of us get What's wrong with you? Mary, what's happening? Get away. Get away. Get away.
My birthday is January 22nd, 1971.
Oh my goodness. Can you ask them?
Sure, anything. You ask it.
What do I do when the gift I have when someone dies? What am I supposed to do with that?
Is Carol have the gift of premonition of people who are going to pass to the next life? Because she seems to have had experiences seeing who's going to die before they die. The thought.
Yes.
And she wants to use it for good. Does she have that gift? Yes, thank you. Should she try to, how should she help people with it? Is there any word you could use to help? How could she help doing that? Help people with that gift? Ouija board. Maybe saying you have to do the Ouija board. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
How about this last thing? This will be interesting. Ready? Okay. Last question is this. This is a very important question. The Ouija board, it goes back a couple hundred years. William Fuld and Bond and all these other people. Is there some other thing from the past that the Ouija board started in Egypt, in India somewhere? Some oracle artifact that was discovered? Or does it start in the 1800s and stuff? In other words, is it more ancient than we think? Yes or no? Is the Ouija board more ancient than we think? Can you tell us where in the world it started? Where? China, America, India, Egypt, where? You, okay. UN, okay, UN.
United States.
United
Nations.
United, yeah.
All right, so United States is started in.
Yes.
What year did it truly get created, discovered, invented? Truly, what year was it? I'll do this way.
Crap.
You're doing great. Yeah, thank you. Or, sorry. 5.
5-1 or
5.
Maybe she misplaced the 0 for an O.
Yeah.
Or an O for a 0.
How about this? Was it in the 1800s, or was it in the 1800s, or was it
older time?
Yeah, like what year? What year? Around what year? X, maybe Roman numerals. X.
X. Oh, that's true.
1000. Or no, that's X.
Roman numeral.
Is 10 to 1. 1. Okay. And, yeah. 6. That's interesting. We're 1600 and what? 50.
Or 4.
4. Or 4, okay. In that year, what is the name of the man or woman last name of the man and woman who created, invented, discovered this incredible device, oracle. Who's the name? S?
S, okay. T.
S. We need more help there. The name of the last name of the person who did it. S. Do you know who is the creator of the Ouija board? It's okay if you don't. You do? Good. Thank you. All right. Well, we're doing a film about it and trying to teach the world about it. We know William Fuld and Bond and all these people and Kennard. Who is the person, man or woman, who created the Ouija board? Who had the first inspiration? Or was it discovered? I mean, who's the person? W.
W.
I think
A.
W.
Did you
A.
M-A?
It seemed like W.
Oh, W-A.
W-A.
Mm-hmm.
W-A.
T.
What? W-A-T.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. W-A-T.
R.
Wart.
W-A-T-R.
Mm-hmm.
Wart.
Wart. T. Wart. W-A-R-T-T.
Wharton.
Wharton.
How about this? Ready? Was the Ouija board invented, discovered, or really created by someone other than Elijah Bond, William Fuld, Kennard, or any of these other people that have claimed to invent it? Is it somebody else? Okay. Is that person someone that lived in ancient times, a long time ago? Okay. And how old is the Ouija board? It's the year 2011 right now. How old is the Ouija board? How long since it was first created? Hundreds, thousands of years? How old? One or two, yeah.
It's like more like one.
Seven.
1, 7, yep.
Mm-hmm.
How old?
4.
4. 7.
1748.
1748?
1748 it was created, yes? Wow, and 1748 it was created in the United States, yes? No, okay. It's 1,748 years old.
Yeah, see, that's the question.
Lisa? Who's Lisa?
Are you okay? Bethard, oh my god! Bethard! Bethard! What's wrong? Get rid of it! Bethard! Bethard! Are you okay? Oh my god, you guys! Bethard! Okay.
Like a little bird.
Bethard! How do you get rid of it? Oh, you have to say your name. Bethard! Are you okay? Come here, guys. Come on. Bethard! Oh my god.
Bethard. Do you need water? You want some water? Guys, can we get some water, please? Hey, Bethard, are you okay?
were you ever involved in any Ouija board cases or experiences? If you could just maybe tell us a little about that.
That house, it was horrible. It was so scary and so horrible. And Ed and I spent nights in that home. We called a Catholic priest. The family was Catholic. We called a Catholic priest. And during the midst of it, we had a lecture at University of Maine. No sleep. We went up and gave the lecture. Didn't stay overnight and came back home again. And the priest stayed there during that period of time with us. And the furniture that would be in the room would go like this, like you were moving it. You know how you move a heavy piece of furniture like this, moving it right across the room. Ed went into the room this one night, and it went fast. It went very, very, very fast, and he was commanding in the name of Jesus Christ for what was there to leave. And when he did, these chairs, the two love seats that were on either side of the fireplace, came and pinned him right into the corner. Now, I was in the boys' bedroom. The family were in the master bedroom in back of me. Ed had been there. Ed had been there with the mother, the father, the daughter, the son, and the family dog. And that Ed commanded in the name of Jesus Christ for what was there to make itself known or to get out. That bed with Ed, two men, the mother, the daughter, the son, on it, rose right up to the ceiling. And I was, then they did it again, and he kept commanding in the name of Jesus Christ for it to leave and to go back to where it came from. So the boy came in and he lay down on the bed. When Ed started, I turned over so I could see the boy. He levitated right off his bed and went flying right out the door and cut his head here. And the priest and the father and the mother and everything was taking care of him. And here's my bed rocking back and forth. The sliding doors, the large sliding doors, dematerialized.
And you believe all of that was opened up or began?
Through the Ouija board. They were church-going people, and there was absolutely no way other than that Ouija board.
When we were at Hasbro, we found out that 13 million Ouija boards have been made since 1967.
Wow. Most of them are bought like at Christmas time for kids to have fun with. That isn't anything to have fun with. That definitely is nothing to have fun with. If we were trying to help people, get rid of something in a home, and we've gone there and it keeps changing. Yeah. Am I true? Yeah, we have a lot of books already.
Yeah, I think you have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably upset.
Slightly, you know the routine?
Yeah.
We have an actual board here.
Are we all right?
Tara Lawson and her brother talked their mother into buying a Ouija board.
We just got a Parker Brothers Ouija board at the toy store, and we didn't realize that, you know, it was more than just a toy.
What started out as an innocent fascination turned Tara's life into a nightmare filled with oppression. An evil presence made itself known almost immediately.
It was moved, and we were looking up at my dad, just kind of laughing like, look, and we're not doing it.
I said, we're not playing this anymore. I said, I'm getting rid of it.
Tara's dad hid the board. It wasn't long, though, before Tara found it and secretly began playing again.
To me, it was just kind of something that was like a game, something that was just fun for me.
Hey, Lisa? Who's Lisa?
What I was opening myself up to, that it was something demonic, something evil.
But the more she played, the more frightened she became.
Knowing it was under there.
She came back and said, you know, I found that Ouija board. I've been...
You okay? Edward! Stop! Stop!
Chill out, man. Come on. Chill out. Chill, man.
Let's get rid of it.
Tara and her father burned the Ouija board, but a few years later she was drawn back to it again. This time she made her own Ouija board with a friend.
That one was even more powerful than the one before, moved even stronger. It would say things. So being teenage girls, we just would kind of laugh and feel kind of uncomfortable, but we kept.
Hey, Lisa? Where's Lisa?
Are you okay? Bethard, oh my god! Bethard! 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 What's wrong? Get rid of it! Bethard! 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 Bethard, are you okay? Oh my god, you guys! Bethard! Okay.
Like a little bird.
Bethard! How do you get rid of it? All you have to say the name. Bethard! Bethard! Bethard, are you okay? Come here, guys. Come on, come on. Bethard! Bethard! Oh my god! Bethard! Bethard! Do you need water? You want some water? Guys, can we get some water, please? Hey, Bethard, are you okay?
were you ever involved in any Ouija board cases or experiences? If you could just maybe tell us a little about that.
That house, it was horrible. It was so scary and so horrible. And Ed and I spent nights in that home. We called a Catholic priest. The family was Catholic. We called a Catholic priest. And during the midst of it, we had a lecture at University of Maine. No sleep. We went up and gave the lecture. Didn't stay overnight and came back home again. And the priest stayed there during that period of time with us. And the furniture that would be in the room would go like this, like you were moving it. You know how you move a heavy piece of furniture like this, moving it right across the room. Ed went into the room this one night, and it went fast. It went very, very, very fast, and he was commanding in the name of Jesus Christ for what was there to leave. And when he did, these chairs, the two love seats that were on either side of the fireplace, came and pinned him right into the corner. Now, I was in the boys' bedroom. The family were in the master bedroom in back of me. Ed had been there. Ed had been there with the mother, the father, the daughter, the son, and the family dog. And that Ed commanded in the name of Jesus Christ for what was there to make itself known or to get out. That bed with Ed, two men, the mother, the daughter, the son, on it, rose right up to the ceiling. And I was, then they did it again, and he kept commanding in the name of Jesus Christ for it to leave and to go back to where it came from. So the boy came in and he lay down on the bed. When Ed started, I turned over so I could see the boy. He levitated right off his bed and went flying right out the door and cut his head here, and the priest and the father and the mother and everything was taking care of him. And here's my bed rocking back and forth. The sliding doors, the large sliding doors, dematerialized.
And you believe all of that was opened up or began?
Through the Ouija board. They were church-going people, and there was absolutely no way other than that Ouija board.
When we were at Hasbro, we found out that 13 million Ouija boards have been made since 1967.
Wow. Most of them are bought like at Christmas time for kids to have fun with. That isn't anything to have fun with. That definitely is nothing to have fun with. If we were trying to help people, get rid of something in a home, and we've gone there and it keeps changing. Yeah. Am I true? You know, we have a lot of books already.
Yeah, I think you have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably
Lately, you know the routine?
Yeah.
We have an actual board here,
Are we all right?
Okay, so Carol does have psychic powers. Okay.
How are you feeling? Do you feel it?
Are you spirit? Are you a woman? See how lightly we're keeping it on this time.
Yeah, I'm not barely touching it.
Yes, you are a woman. Okay. Can you tell us your name, Spirit? Thank you for contacting us. What's your name? S. Great. Thank you. S.
S-O.
S-O.
F.
S-O-F. See where that's going. If it is, I think.
S-O-F. 3? S-O-F-3.
Sophie, I thought it was. Sophie? Is Sophie a name? S-O-F-3?
3.
Maybe it meant an E, or maybe it meant...
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
It's Sophie. It's saying Sophie, yeah. Although I went to the sun there. What's that mean?
Maybe you just missed yes.
Okay, fair name. What type of gift does Carol have psychically? Is she a clairvoyant? Is she a...
What's she supposed to do with that? What is it?
Or what's the word? What gift does she have? Gift of prophecy? Gift of what? Intuition?
N.
N. A. Not available? Or not, not available? Who knows? Does the Ouija board work by contacting spirits? Yes or no? I'm not sure what that is.
It looks like it's going towards yes.
If you were going to give us one word regarding about the Ouija board, what would it be? Because we're trying to make a movie about the Ouija board. What's one word to guide us to figure out how we can use this best?
X?
Or
maybe.
Is it right under or is it supposed to be pointing?
X, or it could
L.
be
L.
L.
I thought the L was
Yeah,
supposed
exactly.
to be pointing, so a lot of things that we misunderstood.
Maybe it's L, yeah.
Because it's supposed to point, not
Right.
under. It's not a magnifying.
Right,
underneath.
yeah, like the new one.
So maybe it was Sophie.
Yeah.
Because where was the one she pointed to? 3.
Well, she went to 3. E's up
So-
here. No, I
I
don't.
don't know. Let's see.
But
Well, if it
so-
was pointing to this
3.
or Q,
3 could be something, it's just,
significant in her life.
you never know. She might be 3 years old.
That's
Exactly,
true.
that's true.
And maybe that's
So
why
we're-
she's not
so
spelling
we're
it correct,
L,
guys.
right?
Yeah, L. What else? E.
E.
O.
O.
L-E-O. Leo?
Leo.
Is that what L-E-O?
Leo.
Leo. Well, maybe we're not done yet.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe she's a Leo.
Constellation.
Maybe she's still tapping in.
Or maybe, is anyone Leo here?
All right, yeah, there's a little thing upstairs about the different signs so maybe it has something to do with that.
Well, she gave us, maybe she's 3. She's might be trying to tell us when her birthday is, or
Yeah,
something.
even though we're asking the Ouija
Well,
board.
how old are you when you passed away, Sophie?
She went to
8.
8 or 7?
Yeah.
Maybe, and is that it? 7 or 70 what, or 60 something? Go this way.
17.
Or no, 71 or 61, around there. You had a full life, Sophie? You had a happy life?
Were you sick, Sophie?
So she had a full happy life. I don't know if she was sick either one.
Yeah, I guess we have to ask one question at a time.
How about this? I don't know anything about Carol. I just met her tonight. Does Carol's middle name? What's the first letter of Carol's middle name? I just like to test, because I don't know. Right? Carol's middle name, first letter.
It's Ann.
Wow. Sophia, we're impressed. What's the last digit to my... actually, what's my birthday day? It's in January. What day in January is my birthday? Because Carol doesn't know it. Well, it's fine.
Oh.
Two. And then the other number? My birthday is January 22nd, 1971.
Oh my goodness. Can you ask them?
Sure, anything. You ask it.
What do I do when the gift I have when someone dies? What am I supposed to do with that?
Is Carol have the gift of premonition of people who are going to pass to the next life? Because she seems to have had experiences seeing who's going to die before they die. The thought.
Yes.
And she wants to use it for good. Does she have that gift? Yes, thank you. Should she try to, how should she help people with it? Is there any word you could use to help? How could she help doing that? Help.
Your face looks really high.
Does it?
On your mouth, especially.
You remember him from Haunting Evidence, great all-around paranormal investigator, one of the co-authors of The Other Side, Patrick Burns. And of course, Ben Hansen from Sci-Fi's Fact or Faked. Ben has no idea what he's gotten himself into, which is really funny because a little later in the show we're going to show him some pictures and ask him if they've been fact or faked. And of course, from Psychic Kids, from all kinds of other great shows, from Paranormal State, Mr. Chip Coffey. And to make Chip uncomfortable for the next 30 minutes, this alien. As if that were necessary. It's your date. Need the microphone, guys, so everybody can hear you. Thank you. All right, guys, let's start going right down the line. I want everyone to answer this question for me. If I weren't making a living in the paranormal, I would be... Go.
I would be probably robbing museums or banks.
Good.
Don't rob my bank. I was in the mortgage business 13 years. I'd still be in financing.
All right.
I would be in investments.
Good.
Fixing computers?
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I'd probably go back to law school.
All right. World needs another lawyer.
I'll be working as a traditional counselor.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Aww. Tugs at the heartstrings. All right. Ben, here's what I did throughout the day today. I was kind of walking around and asking people, what questions would you want to ask these folks? And to save time, I jotted down a bunch of them. Ben, you're up here with 2 psychics. How do you feel about psychics in general? I know you like to deal with the facts and stuff like that, but... Go ahead. Pass me the microphone.
I've never been read before. Is that how you say it? Never been read? I've never been read.
They knew you were going to say that.
I don't know. I'd like to see it.
Okay. All right. Well, tomorrow we'll set something up. All right. Very good. So, guys, I know a lot of you have been on TV, and I'm curious how you feel. What's television done as far as paranormal investigation in general? I mean, a good thing, a bad thing. Do you think it fairly portrays what's really happening out there? Trying to jump around. Chip, you were on a couple shows.
Well, you have to take into consideration that everything is edited. You've got hours and hours and hours and hours of videotape that has to be condensed down into 22 or 44 minutes.
Right.
So in order to keep it so an audience, a television viewing audience, can follow the story, there are some liberties that are taken with editing sometime, and that's just the normal course of things. But I don't think it's harmed the investigative community too much.
I haven't decided if I'm on an infomercial yet, or I'm waiting to be hypnotized up here. I don't know what's going on.
When I snap my fingers, you clap like you should.
Brave man. Hey, you know what? Anything for the shot. And you know what, though? Because here's the beautiful thing. Well,
on the other side.
Yeah. I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
You're donating your phone to this cause.
Hey, Bobby, it's like poker. I'm rolling or I'm folding. So I'm rolling.
Are you folding?
I'm not folding.
You got to know when to fold them. Yeah. Know when to hold them. Yeah.
There you go.
Know when to walk away and when to fall.
Yeah. And when you finish first fold.
Never install your flagpole. When you're leaning on the mooring, you can fall over backwards.
Sorry, we'll just do a little ambiance. And then
hold on, I just want a static shot of you holding that above the drop.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty classic.
Yeah, that is very classic. The making of.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
And turn back and smile, T. Smile back, look back at us and smile. like so you get a good shot of it. Just kind of look back.
Like this?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But stay looking.
I got it. 3, 2, and 1.
Thank you so much. Okay. Here you go, T.
On your, actually what I want to do is, you can scooch back a little bit, like, yeah, ready? A little bit. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, all I wanted to do is get a little bit less. All right, perfect, yeah.
You're the puppet master.
Yep, this is perfect, perfect, perfect. I just want to also...
We can't prove it, we can't recreate it, but, you know, we learn as we go, and we learn from the urban legends that have been passed on.
Do you believe Ouija board use could lead to possession?
I have to actually think about that one too. Do I believe it can be? Yes. I do believe that it could lead to possession. It is up to the individual user to whether or not they're mentally unsound, physically unsound, under a lot of duress in their life. There's that little wormhole that's opened in their mind that may allow a spirit to come through and take advantage of that. Do I believe that? Absolutely. As with ghost hunting, put yourself in a haunted situation, something may come through and affect you later on. I've seen it, I've been there, I've done that. Possession is a very rare case, a very, very, very rare case. If you think about it, all the people from the spiritualist movement, again, our grandmothers and great-grandmothers and grandfathers, all did it, and we didn't have a viral case of possession back then. You know, not everybody back then would have a demonologist on speed dial like we do now. Life went on. You know, unfortunate events happened, fires, floods, disasters, just as they do now. As far as the person who may have a possession, the stories that I've heard are few and far between. And you do have to take certain measures to protect yourself, to do it the right way, just as a ghost hunter would investigate the right way. You introduce yourself, you set a couple ground rules, and you go from there.
Do you believe there's any difference between using a Ouija board to communicate with the spirit world or a K2 meter or doing EVPs?
I absolutely think there's no difference between modern technology and the good old-fashioned masonite board and plastic Ouija board planchette. The technology has evolved. I have seen the critics say that the modern equipment, the K2 meter, the obelisk, the puck, all of these pieces of equipment are ineffective. That it doesn't work, it's just purely coincidence, you know, like the Frank's box, for instance. I've seen with my own two eyes and heard with my ears things that have convinced me that these are legitimate pieces of equipment that may communicate with the dead. Not every time. Not every time. Not on cue. It's unpredictable. But so is the Ouija board. So I know for a fact, a Ouija board is effective means of communication. If it never worked, millions of people, millions, would never have purchased a board. But it works. It's not just a game. It's an actual means of communication. You can take a marker, mark down a piece of paper, and it's considered a Ouija board. It's pretty amazing how something so simple can yield such results. But the newer stuff is it's good. It's another means of communication. We have to make the vehicle of communication easy for the dead. There's no physical body. There's no organic matter. There's no physical body. There's no organic matter. They don't have vocal cords. They can't just easily project communication. So they have to use something that's simple. Something with airwaves, something with sound, something with writing, physical letters. There's so many different ways to do it.
And do you think if there's a danger in communicating with spirits, is there an equal danger in using a K2 meter as using a Ouija board?
Right,
Like,
so
are
are they
you,
all the same pretty much?
or if not, why?
This is the question between a lot of people in the paranormal is, if you are doing EVP work, is it the same as using a Ouija board? Of course, you are trying to communicate, except for a different media. If you're asking an EVP question with a tape recorder in your hand, when you play it back, you're hoping you get a message. What kills me is the people that are afraid to use the Ouija board, but not afraid to do EVP work. Why? It's just another means of communication. It is just as bad to use a Ouija board as it is to do EVP work. We're asking ghosts with an Ouija board to spell out messages for us. We're asking ghosts with a recording device to say messages to us. So, in my opinion, it's all the same, no matter what.
Perfect. And same thing with like a K2 meter, right?
Right.
Like you say, is anyone here? Blank. It's just kind of funny. It's a great argument, though. I love that.
Oh, but it's not taboo to do that. But it's so taboo, Ouija boards. I mean, everybody's opinion of Ouija boards, it's all because the movies have taught us that boards are just going to lead to demonic possession. Anything can lead to demonic possession. I mean, somebody under the influence of drugs and alcohol could lead to demonic possession. Anything negative is going to latch on to a human because of their weakness. Has nothing to do with a board with letters on it.
That leads into another question. Do you think the board itself has any special power?
I don't believe the Ouija board itself has any special power. Again, from my experiences, from my experiences, I've been able to just simply write letters down on a plastic tablecloth and turn a shot glass upside down, and it was moving around spelling out messages. It is entertaining to hear the stories about how people have been told from a priest to bury the board and leave it out in moonlight and salt and the myriad of different methods of cleansing a board. Perhaps there's some truth to that, and I'm not an expert on that, but I don't believe it's the board that's haunted itself. I think too many movies growing up as a child, too many movies like Witchboard and all these other movies have sort of brainwashed us into thinking that it's a vehicle. It's just a vehicle for spirits to communicate with us.
Perfect. Do you want to do...
Just wonderful stuff.
Yeah, it is perfect.
Well, why don't we get into her the invention?
Yeah. Well, when one last question. Okay, so we found out when we were at Hasbro that since 1967, 13 million Ouija boards have been produced.
That's a lot. 13 million. Wow. I was hoping you would tell me about that, because I said millions of people have been using them. Thousands seem too small.
Yeah. So
13 million.
Yeah. So respond to that. Hearing
just 67.
67.
Do you guys ask them if anyone ever writes them with their horror stories? I mean, can they produce letters from people that said this board ruined my life, I'm going to sue you?
They can't. Letters are legally confidential between the people who send them, but yes, they tell me that they exist.
They do.
And you got William Fuld letters, which is the same thing.
Yeah, I have all the letters from 1890 to 1966. Every letter that every customer ever wrote in. Good, bad, and ugly.
Did you read them?
Oh, yeah. I've transcribed them.
That just bleeped. I don't know if it's full or what.
But that's okay.
That's interesting. I'd like to talk to you about that sometime, like what people have said. The urban legends, is it coincidence that their house just burnt down a week later? Or
you can see all kinds of things, from people being... becoming pregnant, believing the Ouija board, trying to sue the company for...
No, it's just semen.
For father.
Yeah.
Exactly. It happens. It's spelled out pregnant.
It was so super... Oh, so it did spell out pregnant? Well, it's like Jeff Jody Love Dead. Now, the guy, Jeff Howe, they should interview Jeff Howe. He's a retired police officer. That's who the board spelled out, Jeff Jody Love Dead. Every time I see him, I mention that whole thing, and he just clams right up. He won't even talk about it because he's that disturbed about it that night, thinking that it was all of us playing a prank on him. And then for him to propose, take that ring out of his pocket, and she turned him down and dumped him. It was like, whoa. He was the freaking goosebumps again, man.
One thing that's always been a head scratcher for me, I mean, how can society put the Ouija board in a category of being so evil and something that could cause all these problems, but at the same time, hey, it's a toy. You can buy it on your shelf in your local store. I mean, how can we be on so different sides of the spectrum?
Well, it
of
was
that?
marketed that way as a toy.
But why?
How else are you going to market it?
Look
made
at
a
the
ton of money.
folklore that's attached to it. I mean, look at what we're talking about right here in this interview. The potential dangers, the possessions, people that are getting their lives, turned upside down by things like this.
Well, I compare it to like a crystal ball. People use crystal balls as another medium to communicate with the dead and predict the future. But if Hasbro came along and marketed the crystal ball, it'd be one in every house. It just hasn't been marketed as a paranormal or afterlife invention for that. You can find a crystal ball on a great shelf in a shop in Salem. And everyone sees the crystal ball, and there's only one reason for it. It's because people used to gaze in them in the days. And if you picture the old gypsy, But if Hasbro came along and marketed a crystal ball, but a $4 version of it, there'd be one in every closet.
Yeah, it's true. Well, to me, it's all an invitation. I mean, whether you're talking about a K2 meter or a Ouija board, it's all an invitation to communicate with the other side. So I don't know how they can possibly classify it as a toy if it's being used, primarily for what we're all talking about.
This is a Hasbro documentary, so I don't think they want us bashing it.
No, it's not a Hasbro documentary.
Yeah, no, it's totally not.
Oh, it's
They
not?
just
No.
agreed to be part of it.
Okay.
So
We were
yeah.
the first people to ever film in there, but they.
So they're not sponsoring this.
No.
So who's paying for it?
So I will tell you this.
Hi,
Oh, so this really is your
This is
project.
totally
Oh,
indie.
okay.
It's a total.
That's why we
So
really
be
want to get the
completely
real
honest, 'cause
story.
it's exactly what we want, and they know we're.
Oh, I didn't know if we should just
Oh, no.
say taboo.
So I'll tell you, there's two things, and then you can both respond to them. One is since 1967, 13 million Ouija boards have been produced. The second thing to respond to is that Hasbro and Universal Pictures are working on a movie. So they're working on a movie that's going to be released. It's supposed to be next year. So clearly there's interest, or they're trying to spark interest. Like, what do you think of ongoing marketing and?
You want to go first?
That's a really good question. What do I think of ongoing marketing? I think the beauty about the Ouija board is it markets itself. We don't really see too many commercials on TV about the Ouija board at all. What kind of network would air it? It's one of those taboo things, like, ooh, it's bad. Yet it's a great seller, and it's a very profitable piece of board game merchandise, if you'll call it. There really hasn't been any new stuff about the board. It's just passed down from generation to generation, and children speak about it, and it's one of those things like Bloody Mary and Light as a Feather, passed down to generations just from talking about it. Ouija boards will always be here. You know what I want to do? I want to talk about something you and I talked about it, how I wanted to work with MIT students about some research.
Perfect.
How does that tie into the future of the Ouija board?
Well, you could
is
just
that another question? Or?
No, we have a question. Do you think that the Ouija board is something that should be researched and studied by professionals, and kind of try to figure out why?
Yeah, I'm dying to talk about that, and you'll get the answer too.
Go for it. You're on a roll.
This is just something that has to get done, and I really want to work with you on this. The future of the Ouija board is just so wide open. You got everyone looking for ghosts, but not a lot of people in this country are really doing a lot of work with Ouija boards. I would love to work with some MIT or Worcester Polytech Institute students as a project, and this could be a very futile project for them, for a research project. I would love to do some studies on the Ouija board use. I would love to actually thermal studies, X-ray technology, just kind of find out what is pushing that planchette. We already know that something is. Is it us? Is it our energy? Or is it something supernatural pushing it? And if so, can that energy be measured? It has to be measured. I mean, there's no way that somewhere down the line someone's not going to know this answer. I want to be the first to find out, can we scientifically document what is pushing that planchette and spelling out these messages?
Well, and you've actually came up with something to kind of start that process.
Yep.
So So talk a little bit about that.
Should I just kind of like pull it out of my ass or just leave it
Sure,
here at the
whatever.
table? I mean,
Yep,
well, I just happen to have it right here, Bob. What a coincidence.
And if you call now.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
I just want to show you off the record here. When the pressure to contact the spirits is just too much. We gotta show this to Hasbro, man.
You're totally. I don't know if you can see this here, but it's just fantastic.
You've got connections over there. We gotta talk about that. Maybe they'll buy my idea.
It's a great idea.
Well, why wouldn't you want to reinvent the wheel?
I know.
I mean, it's a complete 2011 version of the old-fashioned planchette.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I'm very interested in my own research.
Concept of that particular problem. So, again, that's something that I think has to come from within.
Yeah, I often say to people when they talk about how the Ouija board is bad or they had a bad experience, I say like, okay, so we get on the phone and you and I, we have this conversation and it gets really nasty and we call each other names and say horrible things about each other and then we hang up the phone. When we're done with the conversation, you don't take your cell phone and throw it out the window and say, I will never have one of these in my house again.
Right, exactly.
But what happens with a Ouija board, you have a bad conversation and it's like, boom, that thing's like a,
Because that's everybody's natural instinct to get rid of the thing that just produced evil or suspense.
With it taking themselves out of the equation where it's, I often say people should look at who's communicating. The board is not. The board is just the telephone that you're using. You're communicating with something else and somehow the board is the evil thing or what has happened or what has gone wrong. Just fascinating.
It's a perfect example of how fear has blocked forward thinking.
When Poltergeist came out, the movie, how many people across America covered up their television screens before they went to bed with a blanket because they were so afraid in the middle of the night that screen was going to pop on? It's just all superstition.
And we've solved that problem with satellite and cable TV where there's no white noise anymore.
Right?
It's always going.
So why are all these people running around possessed now?
What do you guys think about this idea that, from quantum physics, the hardest science you really can get, they'll talk about the idea that thoughts are reality, or this slit experiment where the observer changes the nature of an atom, or the entanglement idea where an electron separated from another electron a million miles away. If you do something to one electron, it affects the other. So what do you think of this idea that perhaps the Ouija board is a great example of the placebo effect, where thoughts are becoming reality, and this is kind of a tool to do that? Any thoughts on that at all?
How do I word that into a question to start that out? Give me an example of how I should start that sentence out.
Is it a tool for brain? Is it an actualizer for reality? Can it make thoughts into things?
Yes,
okay. I've often wondered if the Ouija board can affect our thoughts. If our thought... Did I just say that backwards?
Yeah, backwards. Yeah.
Okay, let's start that off.
It definitely can affect your thoughts, right?
A woman answering a question with a question?
All right, shut up.
You even got the film guy laughing on that one.
I've often wondered if our thoughts can manipulate a Ouija board session, so subconscious messages could come through. However, physically, when I've gotten success with a Ouija board and a planchette, the answers that came out had nothing to do with me. There were names being pulled out on the board, dates, usually unusual circumstances about a person's death. That's how they usually present themselves, with circumstances of how they passed, to talk about them a little bit. And then my session experiences tend to lead into question and answer. Then it's about me. What kind of answers am I going to get out of this, to sort of just to throw it out there, because everybody does it. They start answering, am I going to be rich? Am I going to fall in love? Questions like that. But subconscious thoughts, in my experiences, I've never seen come through on a Ouija board. I don't think that really the spirit that's communicating with you is worried about what's in our head, because when the sessions start off, again, they're talking about themselves. Do I believe that they could absolutely get in our head? Yes. Because that spirit does know specific answers to questions that we're asking that only we would know. That's a fact. And it's unpredictable. It doesn't happen every time on cue, but just my experiences only, they're very knowledgeable, whoever's speaking to us, as far as what may happen. And it's random. You know, are they going to talk about your friends? Are they going to talk about how many people are in your bedroom at the time? It's bizarre because you don't know what they're going to say. I just have to add, I know I'm going off the subject, but I don't want to not talk about this. What was amazing during a Ouija board session that we were filming was the planchette was moving about the board. So one of the investigators said, "Can you spell out your name?" And with our eyes, we saw it go to an R, and then we saw it move to an I, and then a C. And it spelled out the name Richard. Upon reviewing the audio tapes later on, all of our recorders caught this. It was amazing. Before it started going out to the R, and the I, and the C, you heard a man say, "Richard." And then the planchette started to spell an R and I. So there's an actual process of steps. The spirit speaks physically, which we may or may not catch. It depends if you're recording or not. But the same night, it happened again with the name George. "What is your name?" Started to spell a G and then an E, and you heard the man say, "George," in a completely different man's voice, where there was no men present during the session. Absolutely unbelievable. And so that thought process, there's steps, you know, it actually, we were able to hear the spirit speaking physically and then taking the energy to move the planchette. So how is that possible that that might have been coming from our minds? We weren't thinking George or Richard. Somebody was actually speaking it that we couldn't hear with our ears and then moving it. So that was just completely a message coming from its own. Neat. It was neat. I've never seen anything like it when that happened.
A lot of people talk that Ouija boards open up doors or portals. Do you believe that a Ouija board opens up doors or portals? And do you think, where do you think those are? Are they in you? Are they in the board? What's happening? You know what I mean?
I hate going on hearsay though. Like a lot of this, because I haven't experienced it myself, as hearsay. You know, I've heard the stories of people using a Ouija board and that they've possibly opened up a portal or some kind of vortex. If they did that, in my opinion, I feel that the spirits were already there. It depends on the situation. It's very possible that someone may have, during a session, invited something, again, to come and happen. I don't feel that the typical Ouija board user is just going to open up a portal or vortex. It's a very, very, very deep, phenomenal situation I don't know enough about to honestly answer. Do I feel that this happens every time? No. Why would certain households have portals and some other? What is a portal? Do I believe that the human, the person themselves becomes a portal? No. Then you would see them, you would actually see the person showing symptoms of having some other kind of spiritual warfare going on, which doesn't happen. In my studies, I've seen pictures of portals. I've heard audio of portals, and these are coming from some pretty big experts in the field, in the field of EVP. Consults from the movie White Noise. The woman, it was an amazing lecture, and she showed me the first photograph I've ever seen of an actual portal, and we heard the audio that went along with it. It was amazing to me. And I still look at that and say, that's impossible. How is that possible? This weird energy thing. There's a whole other realm that I have to learn about. But that portal was a physical portal. That portal was there, outdoors, that she showed us. It was not created by Ouija board use. But some people believe all around me that if you go into a cemetery, we just learned this the other day,